Президент Спортового товариства України пан Константин Чулій бажає всій українській громаді і всім своїм членам веселих і радісних свят. Христос Воскрес!
Ми діти роду козацького.
Sponsored by Ukrainian Credit Union. Believe it or not, it's Ron Kahut with Stay Ukrainian, my friends.
We're Cossack children of history.
Canada's National Ukrainian Festival, affectionately known as the Dauphin Festival. Everyone asks, are you going to Dauphin? Are you going to the festival? When they say you're going to the festival, other than Bloor, which is the biggest one, the Dauphin Festival is the one that comes to mind, Canada's National Ukrainian Festival. Always on the long weekend in August, what we call the civic holiday in Ontario. I don't know if other provinces follow it. I know that Ontario does. I think Manitoba does. And I know Quebec doesn't. So this year, 2012, it is on the 3rd, 4th, and 5th of August, Friday, Saturday, Sunday of August. And it is their 47th anniversary. So 47 years ago, 1965, they had their first one. And I ended up playing the first time in the mid-70s, was my first experience with the Dauphin Festival. And at that time, it was held downtown Dauphin, right downtown on a racetrack. And everything in that city goes Ukrainian for this weekend. Still does, but back then it really did. Walked into Bank of Montreal and the tellers had Veshovka on. Walked into A&W and the guy behind the A&W would say Vitayemo and serve you a mama burger. That's free advertising for A&W. The festival, it is now on Sila Ukraina grounds, which is about 5 kilometers outside of Dauphin, built on a hill. It's an amphitheater. And this particular piece of property and the way they've built it has become so well known and renowned that every year they have something called the Country Fest there. And stars from all over the country world come to perform. One of the years I was there, they just completed the Country Fest, and Keith Urban was there with his wife, Nicole Kidman. They're fairly well known. And I mean, not as well known as perhaps, Budia, but they're well known. They came there because they wanted to perform there. The facility is that incredible. It's built on a hill. At the bottom of the hill is the Silo, the church and the barns and the buildings that they've managed to save, as well as a trailer park. You go up the hill, you go into the amphitheater where the show is shown. We're at the bottom performing. All the seats go up. At the top of the hill is the Korchma, the marketplace. The Yarmarok is there. They have stages for dance competitions. The Cossack Tavern is there where they have their major zabavas, as well as more trailer park. People come from all over Canada, all over the United States. Some of them even come from outside the United States to come to the Dauphin Festival. These segments that we're going to be doing on the Dauphin Festival will be in 3 parts. This first one, just to give you a little idea of what you're going to see at the Dauphin Festival. The second and third segments that we'll be doing will be more specific. One will be on the events up top of the hill and the silo and the bread baking and all that kind of stuff. And another one will be on the entertainment. At the grandstand shows. There are 5 grandstand shows every year, 1 on Friday, 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday. And the Saturday night one is usually the major dancing group. In the past, there's been Shumka, all kinds of major dancing groups. And the Sunday evening one is usually the major group that is brought in from Ukraine. 2 years ago, it was Haidamake. Last year, it was Mad Heads. We don't know who it's going to be this year yet. They haven't found who that's going to be. But that's usually the Sunday night show. The shows are phenomenal, from music to dance to singing to comedy. I've had the privilege of being at Dauphin, I don't know, maybe 20 times, maybe more. From everything from playing with Bulava Cossacks to emceeing with my Kumi Horbachensky to doing children's shows, to being there with a Budia band, to being the musical director and having the orchestra that plays for all the dancing groups, which of course they don't do that any longer, but most of the dancing groups now work to tape or to tracks. So I've worn a lot of hats at that festival, and it's a privilege. You go out west, you go to Western Canada, and the brand of Ukrainian, the kind of Ukrainianism in Western Canada, you have to experience it to appreciate it. It is wonderful. in Ukrainian, вони підтримували. They have hung on to this culture since the 19th century, and they've hung on to it with a passion and a love, and almost, in some cases, perhaps a desperation, because it was the only thing that connected them back to Ukraine. So you will see when you go to this festival, and I recommend you go to the festival if you've not gone. Those people that have gone, you'll see interviews that people have been there 5-6 years in a row, 20 years in a row. You come every year, it's something different every year, but it's always something the same every year, and that's truly the Ukrainian identity. And it's a Ukrainian identity that we should all take a lesson from, because it has no boundaries as far as politics or religion or organizational boundaries. You're there as a Ukrainian, and that's it. And you're just having fun, and whether you say "Я співаю" or whether you say "Я шпіваю", whether you say "Голубці" or "Голубчі", it doesn't matter, because everybody's just Ukrainian for the weekend. And there are no fights, which sort of tends to not make it a Ukrainian function, but there. And with all of the things going on at the top of the hill, from dancing competitions to cultural competitions, and these young kids that win the competitions get to perform on the main stage at Dauphin. The stage is phenomenal. They bring in top-rate sound and lighting crews. And, you know, if Keith Urban can perform there, everybody can perform there. And it's a marvelous, marvelous place to go. The food's delicious, all kinds of things to buy up top, from piss and kit to honey to funny T-shirts to CDs to Ukrainian beer to the old-time Ukrainian CDs and LPs from you know, years ago from the Ukrainian entertainers that held on to this and created a Western Ukrainian culture, especially a Manitoba Western Ukrainian culture, because it's different from Saskatchewan and it's different from Alberta. But the three of them are certainly different than the East, Ontario and Montreal. And you should really go. About 3.5 hours out of Winnipeg, near Riding Mountain National Park. It is the city of Dauphin, Manitoba. And the festival is called Canada's National Ukrainian Festival. Село Україно Road, that's another thing. Село Україно Road, that's pretty cool. As is the festival. We'll be talking about it more in the future. Stay with us and stay Ukrainian, my friends.
Відмовтеся від послуги утримування місячних банківських звітів поштою. Замінивши їх на електронічні звіти, і ви будете мати змогу виграти один з 12 Kindle Tablets. Дзвоніть в Українську кредитову спілку за деталями.
Ми діти роду козацького,
Sponsored by Ukrainian Credit Union. Believe it or not, it's Ron Cahoot with Stay Ukrainian, my friends.
We're Cossack children of history.